How did a once television star and real estate tycoon morph into the President of the United States? How did Donald J. Trump make this astonishing journey? Welcome back to Tenacity Talk. Born and bred in New York, Trump was a businessman at heart. His early life was marked by a real estate empire built under the tutelage of his father. But it wasn't just real estate that caught young Trump's eye. The glitz and glamour of television did too. He became a television star, his flamboyant personality a perfect fit for the small screen. From hosting The Apprentice to making cameos on WrestleMania, Trump knew how to keep an audience entertained. But amid the bright lights of television and towering skyscrapers, a political seed was being sown. As early as the 1980s, whispers of a possible Trump presidency began to circulate. Was it all talk, or was there some truth to it? The world watched, curious and bemused. It wasn't all smooth sailing for Trump, though. His journey was marked by controversy, most notably his bankruptcies. From casinos on the East Coast to a luxury hotel in downtown Manhattan, Trump's empire faced its share of financial ups and downs. These moments of financial instability raised eyebrows, but they did little to dampen Trump's spirit or ambition. And then there was New York, the city that made him, the city that knew him. To New Yorkers, Trump was the brash tycoon, the boastful billionaire. Some adored him, many dismissed him. He was seen as a joke by many of his fellow New Yorkers, a wealthy man playing at politics. But underestimating Donald J. Trump was a mistake many would come to realize. His was a journey marked by audacity and absolute brilliance, a journey that was just starting to get interesting. From being a New York tycoon to a possible joke in the political world, Trump's journey was just beginning. Trump's teasing of a potential presidency began long before his actual run. But when did these teases turn into a reality? As we delve into the early 2010s, we see a marked shift in Donald Trump's public persona. The billionaire businessman, once known for his brash New York style, began to show a distinct interest in politics. The Trump Tower tycoon, already a household name, was no stranger to the spotlight and seemed to be warming up to the idea of trading his gilded penthouse for the White House. His political curiosity wasn't confined to just the domestic sphere. Trump's fascination with the global stage became increasingly evident. However, it was his role in a domestic controversy that truly marked his foray into the political landscape. In 2011, Trump became the leading voice in the birther movement, a conspiracy theory questioning then-President Barack Obama's birthplace, and by extension his eligibility for office. Despite Obama's birth certificate stating his birth in Hawaii, Trump and others continued to fan the flames of doubt. Trump's attraction to conspiracy theories was not new. He had previously made headlines with controversial statements, but his role in the birther movement was a turning point. It moved him from the entertainment section of newspapers to the front page of the political discourse. The birther controversy was a divisive one, causing an uproar and creating a chasm in the American society. Trump, at the center of it all, seemed unfazed. His statements, whether on television or his preferred medium of communication, Twitter, continued to be as controversial as ever. The transition from teasing the idea of presidency to actively participating in the political discourse was not a smooth one for Trump. His outspoken nature and penchant for controversy made him a polarizing figure. But it was clear that Trump was not just teasing the idea of presidency anymore. He was in the middle of controversies, stirring the political pot. He had effectively moved from the periphery of politics to its very core. Trump was not just teasing the idea of presidency anymore. He was in the middle of controversies, stirring the political pot. The stage was set, the players were ready, and Trump was about to change the game of politics forever. Trump's presidential campaign was anything but traditional. He was a real estate mogul and television personality with no political experience. Yet he was about to embark on a journey that would take him to the highest office in the land. Trump's campaign began with a descent down an escalator and a speech that left many aghast. He didn't hold back, speaking his mind, often in a brash and confrontational manner. His statements were often controversial, and his approach was deemed unorthodox, to say the least. Yet these very elements seemed to endear him to a certain section of the electorate. His campaign rallies were more akin to rock concerts than political gatherings. He spoke directly to the people, bypassing traditional media outlets, and using social media as his primary communication tool. His Twitter account became a direct line to his thoughts, unfiltered and often unpredictable. Trump's campaign was not without controversy. He was criticized for his comments about women, immigrants, and other groups. Yet it seemed the more controversy he stirred up, the stronger his base of support grew. His supporters saw in him a truth-teller, someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind, regardless of the consequences. His campaign was a masterclass in brand building. The Trump name was everywhere, from his merchandise to his campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again." He positioned himself as a political outsider, a businessman who could drain the swamp and bring a fresh perspective to Washington. In the face of widespread criticism and skepticism, Trump persevered. He went head-to-head with seasoned politicians and emerged victorious. His campaign, as unconventional as it was, resonated with millions of Americans who felt overlooked and unheard. Against all odds and expectations, Trump's unconventional campaign led him to the doors of the White House. And then the unthinkable happened. Donald J. Trump, the real estate tycoon and television star, became President of the United States. It was a night that left the country, and indeed the world, in a state of surprise and shock. As the results poured in, it became evident that the man who began his journey from the penthouse of a New York skyscraper was about to occupy the Oval Office. The pundits were left scrambling, the polls had been defied, and the political playbook had been rewritten. The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind of disbelief, celebration, protest, and above all, uncertainty about what lay ahead. But amidst the tumult, one thing was clear. Politics, as we knew it, had been forever changed. And so, Donald J. Trump ascended from a New York skyscraper to the highest office in the land, marking one of the most astonishing political journeys in American history.